Day 22, Saturday, January 22nd. And look, we got that snow. We actually got snow. So it's cold out. We need a warm dinner. So I'm gonna get a chicken started. I'm gonna do it the same way I did, I think it was in last week's video. I basically just put salt and pepper all over the chicken, put it in a Dutch oven, and then put it in the oven about 350 to 375 degrees for anywhere between 2 to 2.5 hours is all it takes for a 4 to 5 pound chicken. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna have a roast chicken again, except this time we're gonna make our dinner a little more Cuban style, a little more, spice it up a bit. I'm gonna cook some black beans in the Instant Pot. I have some leftover empanadas in our freezer that I made sometime in 2021. I don't even know when. I don't remember what's in them, but there's like 3 left. So I'm just gonna get those out of the freezer and we're gonna cook that. And I have some mango salsa that I canned myself last summer, so we're gonna use that. And then I'm gonna try to make like a green sauce, I think is what they try to call it in some of the restaurants. So I was wrong. I didn't make mango salsa, I made peach salsa. It'll work just as fine. Now you can certainly put other herbs in here, and you can do like the whole onion kind of thing in the cavity. I just don't even bother with that anymore. I have found that simple salt and pepper is all you need. Now I do put it breast side up. And because I'm cooking it in the Dutch oven with the lid on it, it stays really juicy. Here's what I've come up with. I have yogurt, just plain unsweetened yogurt. I have a bunch of garlic here. I've got about 1 inch of fresh ginger, dehydrated onion, dried parsley, dried cilantro, dried red pepper, a lime, and some olive oil. So I'm just gonna put this all in the blender. I'm just gonna like eyeball some ratios here and see how it tastes. And I'm making this pretty well in advance of dinner because I actually want the dehydrated herbs to really rehydrate in this sauce. I think it'll just help the flavors come together a little bit better rather than making it like right before we eat. Taste test. Oh my goodness, that is so good. It's not very green, but I think that's because of the dried herbs, but it tastes really good. So this is gonna go in the fridge until we're ready for dinner. So everything is almost cooked. I just wanted to show you the chicken. And how beautiful that is. So it's browned, it gets crispy. You don't have to take the lid off. Look how the legs separated from the, the body. It's very cooked. And then we'll eat this, and then I'll save the bones and anything left over, and I'll get a bone broth going tonight. All right, so dinner is ready. We've got the chicken, the black beans, empanada, coconut lime rice, peach salsa, some fermented curtido, and then I've got the green sauce that I'm just gonna put on the table for people to use. See you tomorrow. Day 23, Sunday, January 23rd. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm just gonna get one part of dinner started a little bit in the Instant Pot. So dinner tonight, it was going to be a pot roast, but honestly, after the chicken last night and the beef stew the night before, I just wanted something a little bit lighter. So we're gonna have a minestrone soup. So I am going to cook my kidney beans in the Instant Pot first in just some water. Then I'll take them out, drain them, put them aside, and get everything else going in the Instant Pot for the minestrone soup. So from last night's chicken, I immediately went and made some bone broth. So I've got 2 quarts of this gorgeous gelatinous bone broth. And by the way, if you have never made your own bone broth or stock, whatever you want to call it, link above. You have got to learn how to do this. It is so easy. It's cost effective. There's no reason you shouldn't be doing it. So check that out. I also have half a quart of home-grown tomato, home-canned tomato sauce. The other half was used for lunch today with tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. So I'm going to use that. I also have some cans of diced tomatoes that I may add in as well. I've got some dehydrated shiitakes from our backyard that I'm going to add in. I also have some dehydrated zucchini chips, again from our garden last summer. So I'm going to put them into the soup. And I have this organic semolina pasta. I'm going to use some of this within our minestrone. Also, carrots, celery, plenty of herbs and salt and pepper. And then this morning I baked this beautiful sourdough bread, mind you, a little flat. I have do sourdough sandwich bread every week, sometimes twice a week, and I feel like I have that down pat. But doing it in a banneton and then, you know, baking it, it always comes out just a little flat. It looks, to me, it looks like a shoe. I always make fun of that, but we're gonna have that with our soup tonight. So I'm gonna first get the kidney beans going, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do to actually make the soup. So I'm first going to saute celery, carrot, garlic, and onion in a little avocado oil. So I'm just putting in some parsley, all dried, but parsley, thyme, oregano, and basil. I've also got some bay leaves here. I'm going to start adding in a quart of that chicken broth, chicken stock. One 14-ounce can diced tomatoes. I'm actually going to add another one. Some dried zucchini. Dried shiitakes, the remainder of that quart of tomato sauce from lunch today. Because remember, I'm cooking the pasta in here, so I have to have enough liquid to cook down the pasta. And I added about half of the box I'm gonna add a little more bone broth here. Just to make sure there's enough. And then after it's cooked, I'm gonna add in the cooked beans as well as some frozen kale. So I'm now going to pressure cook this for about 10 minutes. So the soup is done. It looks delicious.
You're delicious, Mommy.
We're winning. No, we are not.
Oh gosh.
The Buccaneers only have 13 and the Rams have
And
27.
we've got our sourdough with bread. My family is being obnoxious. And we're just gonna sprinkle a little Parm cheese. And I'm gonna spare you any more chaos. See you tomorrow. January 24th, Monday night, day 24 of the Three Rivers Challenge. So we have some leftovers from 2 nights ago when we did our roast chicken with the coconut lime rice, some black beans, and some of that green sauce. So I have 1 head of fresh lettuce left. I've got half a jar of my peach salsa. I've got some frozen corn, cheese, oh, and some leftover chicken from that night. So I'm just going to make kind of like a taco salad. I'm going to put everything together in a bowl, put in some broken tortilla chips, and taco salad for dinner. We're going to use up these leftovers, use up our last head of fresh lettuce. I used up, by the way, I forgot to mention this yesterday, our last of our fresh celery yesterday in our minestrone soup. So I'm now seeing like things that I'm out of, right? Like the staples, the greens, the celery, but we're gonna trudge forward with what we can do. So tonight is a taco salad. And dinner is served. See you tomorrow. Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 25th, day 25 of the Three Rivers Challenge. I say good morning because it is currently 9:20 in the morning on Tuesday morning. And before I get started with my work day, I'm gonna get dinner started and going. Dinner is going to be in the crock pot. So last spring of 2021, my husband, who is an avid deer and turkey hunter, he got wild turkey. I think he actually got 2. And so I have some wild turkey here from our freezer that I had processed and vacuum sealed. I've got 2 legs and 2 thighs. And as you would imagine, like a turkey leg, like you would get at a carnival, amusement park, they're big. So I'm hoping I can fit this in my crock pot. But what I'm gonna do is I have some leftover onion in the refrigerator. I'm just gonna throw that in. I have a quart of turkey stock that I made from our Thanksgiving turkey back in November. So again, just like with chicken stock, it's the same process. You might need to break the turkey bones down a little bit since they're bigger, but don't ever let that goodness go to waste with any kind of chicken or turkey. Go ahead and make your stock, your bone broth. So I'm gonna throw a quart of that in along with salt, pepper, some poultry seasoning, and I'm just gonna let it be in the crock pot all day long. And tonight we're having kind of a pseudo Thanksgiving dinner. I know Thanksgiving wasn't that long ago, but we're gonna have turkey, green beans, corn, and then I have some homemade stuffing, a homemade stuffing mix, which if you haven't seen that video, link above, and you can learn how I made my own homemade like stovetop stuffing mix. And so we're gonna have that with it too and get that out of the freezer. So I'm gonna get these in the crock pot. So the key to cook wild turkey is low and slow. So poultry that you purchase from the store or even from a local farmer, they're usually processed at a much younger age, anywhere between 10 and 12 weeks of age. And so this turkey was, of course, probably a couple of years old. And so in order to help get rid of the gamey flavor or the toughness of the meat, as we cook it low and slow, plenty of salt, plenty of pepper, plenty of poultry seasoning. And then I put most of that turkey stock in. I'll use the rest of that for my stuffing mix, which I'm gonna start soaking the breadcrumbs now. So this is my makeshift stovetop stuffing. I have in here homemade sourdough bread that I cubed and then dried. So this is just like a whole grain, whole wheat sourdough. And then I have some herb butter this was in the freezer, so I took it out last night. This is still pretty cold. I'm gonna keep that herb butter in the refrigerator. But I am going to soak my bread cubes in this stock. So I'm just gonna keep it on the counter, soaking in the bone broth, the stock, and help absorb some of that flavor. And then also so our stuffing is really the great texture and consistency that we want it. This is the leftover chicken bone broth that I made the other day from our roast chicken. And I'll come back when we need to get dinner going. So it's 4:30, the turkey is cooked. It's kind of fallen off the bone here. So it's been in the crock pot for 7 hours, I believe. So I am gonna go get the other items going. The first thing I'm gonna do is get this herb butter melted in a saucepan. And then I'm gonna pour it over and mix it in with the rehydrated bread cubes for our stuffing. And then it will go in the oven for a little bit. We also have a quart of home canned green beans, courtesy of my mother-in-law and father-in-law. So very grateful for these. So we're gonna open these up for our Thanksgiving dinner. And I have a pint of home canned beets. Now these are beets that I purchased from Edger's Standard last fall. And then I canned some pints of those up. So we're gonna have some of these with their dinner. And I've got 2 half-opened bags of corn. I don't know why there's 2, but we're gonna open those and cook those on the stovetop. And so we'll have corn, green beans, beets, stuffing, and turkey. Is that it? I think that's it. And I made a pumpkin pie. I had some pumpkin puree in the freezer. I had pumpkin, pie crust in the freezer. I had some cream in the freezer that I thawed. And I have eggs that I froze in the freezer. Like, you basically cracking the egg open into like a silicone muffin wrapper, and silicone just makes it a little bit easier to get them out. Kind of mix it up, the egg and the yolk together, and then freeze them. So I've been kind of using my frozen eggs for a lot of our baking, which has been saving our fresh eggs for fresh eating. So we've got a pumpkin pie for dessert. So I'm gonna get this all going and I'll show you when it's done. Happy Thanksgiving. Wednesday, January 26th, time to make dinner. It is 6 o'clock. I'm noticing a pattern with my Wednesdays, because this is exactly what happened last Wednesday. It was just a crazy day. Things got out of control and I never got dinner made. Well, it's kind of what happened today. But I was a little bit more prepared as far as like awareness in my brain that this might happen. And so I came up with my plan B pretty quickly. Nothing extravagant. My husband won't be home for dinner tonight. He's going to be working late. I had a pretty late lunch with some leftover Thanksgiving from yesterday, so I probably won't eat. So it's really just about making the kids lunches and making them some dinner. So you're going to see what they're having. Yes. All right, you're going to put a spoonful of sauce on, and then hold on, I'm going to show you this one. See, actually, Mommy put 2.
And then put cheese on it. Like
Yeah.
1 piece.
Well, do you want me to do the sauce and you do the cheese?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to break it up though.
Okay.
You can just put it on as a slice. Marley's thirsty.
Yeah, he is.
He's a pretty obnoxious drinker, isn't he?
I love this cheese.
Yeah, you're eating all the cheese. No? So as you can see, we are having bread pizza. The kids are having bread pizza. It's just some homemade einkorn sourdough bread, sliced it pretty thin, put some pizza sauce on it with some sliced mozzarella. But I was feeling a little guilty about the nutritional value of what they were eating. Not that it was bad, but maybe it's just not enough. So I decided to make a smoothie slash slushy. It's some raw organic almonds, a handful of organic blueberries, some ice cubes, some yogurt, some cinnamon, some ground flaxseed. I think that's it. And I'm just going to put it in a bowl with a spoon and let that be their dessert. So, see you tomorrow. January 27th, Thursday. Guess what time it is? 6:15. Do I have dinner ready? No! Another one of those crazy days. But staying on track. Children are upstairs showering. Husband's keeping them in check. We are going to have pesto salmon with a quinoa salad. So I keep looking over here because I've got the quinoa on the stove. And I am going to pan sear these. I'm going to put some salt, pepper, maybe some garlic powder, all kinds of little things on them. Sear them face down in a pan, turn them up, put a pesto cube from the freezer on top of them. And then with the quinoa salad, I have 1 lone fresh tomato left in this challenge. I got half of a red onion, I got some feta cheese, garlic, lemon juice. Gonna make a little quinoa salad with pesto salmon. That's dinner. is pesto from our garden with basil, onion, and garlic from our own garden. I just freeze it in an ice cube tray, and then I have it all year long.
No, this is my dodgy ball.
And literally in less than 30 minutes, dinner is done. We've got pan-seared salmon with some homemade pesto, quinoa salad with red onion, herbs, salt, pepper, feta, and tomato, and some fermented lemon dill sauerkraut. See you tomorrow. Happy Friday! It is day 28, January 28th. This is officially the end of the 4th week. I can't believe it. I am very grateful to have made it this far. So tonight we're gonna have a special dinner to celebrate the end of week 4. I had some ribs in the freezer, pork ribs, because when we purchased our meat, we purchased 99% of all the meat we have in this house from directly from a farmer. So when we bought a pig from a local farm, you get all kinds of cuts, and personally I have to figure out what to do with them. I had been a former vegetarian and a little bit of a vegan for about 20 years of my life, so a significant chunk of my life, and it's only in the last 2 years that I have incorporated more pasture-raised and grass-fed meats and the healthy fats and the raw dairy and all that. So I don't think I've ever cooked ribs in my life. This is new to me, but I've been doing a lot of reading. I've watched some of the Bearded Butchers on YouTube. If you hadn't heard of them, they have the most amazing spices, and I'm going to use some of theirs today. But I had a package of baby back ribs and a package of St. Louis ribs. I don't know the difference. Doesn't matter. I've got the grill heating up. I'm going to start rubbing some mustard all over them, yellow mustard. It's the vinegar that helps. And then I've got a Bearded Butcher blend. I've got the Hollywood blend that I'm going to put on it, and we're going to get on the grill. And then we're going to have baked beans and some roasted broccoli for dinner tonight. So, time to get cooking. All right, so the grill is hot. I'm gonna get these on. They're gonna cook for about 2 hours, and then I'm gonna wrap them in butcher paper, put them back on for about an hour, and let them rest for an hour. And when I put the butcher paper on, I'll put some liquid barbecue sauce on. Dinner is served. Do you ever just sometimes feel like the days run together? And yet at the same time, so it's like they go so fast, and yet at the same time they never end. That is how I'm feeling right now. Dinner is done. By the way, it was really delicious. Like really delicious. The ribs, first time I'd ever cooked ribs, they were so good. Oh my goodness, they were so good. So, week 4, complete, 28 days, complete. We still got a couple more days within January, but we're on to week 5. So how much did we spend? Got a real drum roll. $0 again. 28 days, no food purchased from outside this house. We've used only what we have. I'm pretty stoked, pretty excited about it, and pretty exhausted. So I'm gonna go relax. Have a good week yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay healthy, stay well. Bye-bye.